Welcome to the Board Game Bar. What can I make for you?
So, tonight me and my friends are playing a game of Roll Camera. We're quite familiar with it. It's a game about sort of creating the best film you can. There's two sort of key ways to play it. You can either try and make a high-budget Hollywood film, very fancy, very high-end, very James Bond-esque, or you can try and do a cheap indie film that's sort of so bad that it's almost too good. I want you to make a game for the person who's going for the indie style, something that's a little bit left field, a little bit so bad that it's good. What do you got for me?
Alright, so for the game that is so bad it's good, we're going to go with a modification on the Corpse Reviver number 2 because a revision is already not good enough. So, for the starting, we're going to use absinthe. Now, I've actually already poured out some absinthe into a little container. It's quite useful to do a rinse either through a small amount of absinthe, and we're just going to spin that around in the glass to try and get as much of that flavour into the drink as possible. We're going to put that aside and we'll leave it till we're ready to pour. So this is a shaken drink, so we're going to pour everything into a shaker. Equal parts of Lillet Blanc, Botanical London Dry. So we've actually chosen Scapegrace, which is a New Zealand black gin, and then we've got lemon. Lastly, triple sec. So then we're going to grab the ice and shake that. And then we're going to double strain it, making sure to get rid of all of the extra ice that we don't want in our neat drink. And that is our modified Corpse Reviver number 2.
Lovely. It's a very pretty colour. What can I expect to taste from this drink?
So within the Scapegrace, what we're actually going to have, you're going to have some weird flavors that actually go well with this drink. So you have sweet potato, you have the lemon citrusy kind of
I get
notes.
a lot of that lemon and citrus.
Yeah. Especially the lemon and the orange really kind of go together because it's not a flavor you experience a lot of, but it's a quite mellow flavor that can go with it. It's important that the gin you actually have with this drink is going to matter. It's going to shine through. It is actually accentuating the drink, or it's accentuating the gin.
Yeah, you do definitely taste the gin. And it's sort of the gin's sort of at the forefront before you sort of get all that sort of like those citrusy notes. That absinthe sort of comes in at the end.
That is one of my favorite drinks.
Yeah,
it's such a like the aniseed that you're going to get. You're going to have that in there, and I suppose that really kind of plays into if you make the absinthe rinse too late, you actually end up with absinthe kind of all over the place. Whereas by preparing the drink first with the absinthe rinse, what I've found is that when you're pouring it in, it has started to settle, so you're actually going to get that mixture through.
Yeah. And the drink sort of evolves that way as well. We sort of found that out in our testing that the first sip was like, oh, we got a lot of citrus, we got a lot of these flavors, and as you sort of get to the end, you start to get more of that absinthe sort of starts to evolve and get more complex. And
yeah, and I think the aniseed is important. If you don't actually like aniseed, you're probably never going to like this drink. So we found that without the aniseed, it's actually a drink that kind of, I wouldn't say falls flat, but it feels like it's missing something. And the aniseed really kind of feels that.
All right, so for someone who doesn't like aniseed, what would you put in there instead? Would you add something else to sort of?
I don't think so. I think that you actually have to choose a different drink. Like honestly, I think that the aniseed is that kind of flavor that kind of punches through.
Yeah.
I would love for you to tell me another option, but realistically, I think aniseed is really that flavor that kind of accentuates everything else. It's kind of like that building block that you can kind of live
I think it'd be interesting to test some other like herbal options, whether that's like Dom Benedictine, even Pimm's we've used before. I don't think they'd do the same job, but I think it'd be interesting to try.
Absolutely.
Maybe one day.
So maybe if we get enough, we can test that out and we can do that exploration.
Or if you decide to test it out, please let us know if you don't like absinthe or don't have absinthe. So how does it fit into indie? What's
Yeah, so what we were looking for within this kind of the second iteration of Roll Camera, we have your drink, the
Yes.
Hollywood Martini.
very fancy?
Very fancy, a golden drink to match the golden vibes of Hollywood. And this was really that indie drink. It was that indie kind of hipster vibe. I'm definitely not the person to be critiquing anyone on how to be hipster, but it was really that kind of drink that kind of focused on you wouldn't. It's not that you wouldn't expect it to be good, but it is those kind of flavor profiles that kind of build together that make a drink that is quite solid, will
It's a
always
li- yeah.
achieve. Yeah.
It's a little bit left field, and I think that the big thing is the Escape Grace gin. I think that's the star of the show here, really. I mean, I think you could even up the ratio of gin to everything else to really help that shine through. But I mean, it's a black gin. It's a talking point. It's something that's a bit different. It's going to stand out. You want people to sort of. I think the big part of the indie is you want people to be like, "Oh, what's that? That's different. That's cool. I want to know about that."
I suppose one of the special things about the Escape Grace, it's such a weird word to
Escape
say.
Grace gin.
Escape Grace. I can't say it. It's like some people can't say.
Can we
cinnamon.
and I'll just dub it in. Escape Grace gin.
I suppose one of the weird things about
Escape Grace gin
is that it's actually got so it's sweet potato, but it also has the butterfly pea tea leaf. So what that is, it's actually a leaf that is color changing. So once you add a acid to it, so a lemon or any kind of acid, it will color change from the dark. It's actually classified as a black gin, but it's more like a really, really dark purple reddish drink or liquid. It'll change to quite a light color.
the light pink. I think it lends most of the color to the Corpse Survivor.
Yeah, and I think within a normal Corpse Survivor, if you were to use a standard like London Dry, it's a very light drink. It's more like a light lemon. So this was really that kind of shift that only comes from using Scapegrace.
Yeah, absolutely.
I managed to say it.
You didn't say the gin afterwards. That's why.
No.
You could only get 2 of the 3.
Yeah. So that is our take on the Corpse Reviver number 2, a drink made for our indie version of Roll Camera. Make sure to check out our other version, which is the Hollywood Martini, a drink for the Hollywood style of Roll Camera. We have many other videos out there pairing drinks with games, and make sure to comment below on any games you think need to have a drink specifically made for them. We also play games live on Twitch and VODs on YouTube, so make sure to check them out at Games Night app on YouTube. We also have the Games Night app, an app made to manage your board game collection. Thanks for joining us in the video, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye. A botanical London Dry. So we've actually chosen Scapegrace. I got it right.
Yeah.
Scapegrace.
No, now you fucked it up.
Yeah, no, I'm just doing the replay so I can cut. Scapegrace.